you came over to my page from Kylie's page expectedly. Kylie's got the wives handled. So from here on out, I'm addressing the men. I'm addressing the working dads, stay-at-home dads. That exists too. I was a stay-at-home dad for a little bit. We have to do better as men. We're the man of the house. We're the man of the house for a reason. We keep the stuff together. Husband means house band. It's not ingrained in you. You didn't see your dad clean. You didn't see your dad do laundry. You didn't see your dad cook. You didn't see your dad help your mom. You saw your dad sit on the couch all day long with a beer in his hand on Saturday and not do nothing because he worked so hard. Your mom worked hard too. She worked hard to put food on the table. She worked hard grocery shopping. She worked hard getting you to school. She worked hard getting you to sports. She worked hard with so many different things. Being a human, being an adult is hard. Being an adult is work. You have to put yourself to work. And if your mom raised you correctly, she was working. For us as men, we have to help our wives. Your wife is not going to be interested in you as much as you want her to be if she is constantly overworked by keeping up with you. You're not her child. You cannot expect to hold a masculine candle in your relationship if your wife treats you like her kid. Let that sink in. I don't care how often you work. I don't care if you work 60 hours a week laying concrete. You are not masculine if your wife treats you like her kid. It is your household. You both need to keep it. You both need to lock in. You need to take care of each other. This is a partnership. It does not make sense to me. It does not make sense to me to make your partner do their part when you're not doing yours. If you're doing 100% of everything around the house and they're doing nothing, it is your responsibility to keep each other accountable. Now in my career, I've made it to the point where I'm a real estate agent and I love it, but I'm no stranger to masculine work. I was in the Coast Guard. I was a firefighter. I've laid concrete. It does not permit being lazy at home. It just doesn't. As a firefighter, most of my job was sitting at the station cleaning. Every job makes you clean. Why are you treating your home as less of a cleanliness priority than your job? That doesn't make sense. You're taking care of your coworkers better than you're taking care of your family at home. When I was in the Coast Guard, I was on a 270-foot ship. We had sweepers every day before we left. You clean the ship. What do they say? Adrift? Gear adrift sinks ships is what they say. If your gear is everywhere, if your stuff is everywhere, it'll sink the ship. That's what they say. Can't have a messy environment to work in because it clutters the mind. It makes us unproductive. You have to be about it. You have to clean. As a real estate agent, I work from home a lot. I'm always on my laptop. I have a 5-year-old running around. If I have laundry that's sitting in the dryer, I have a bed that's still not made. Oh, I have to do the dishes still. In the back of my mind, I am thinking about those dishes. I'm not thinking about getting my clients the absolute best they deserve because I'm not fully there. You want to be emotionally at home, right? But with work-life balance, your life, cleaning your house is part of your life. It's not work. Be proud of cleaning. Be proud of making your house. Anyway, you guys wanted me to yell at your husbands. Take what I said to heart and let's.
Nah, this ain't it, homie. I'ma just be honest with you. And I am familiar with I think her name is Kylie Perkins. I think I actually did a review video and I largely agreed with most of the things that she said. But more importantly, I disagreed with the women that were pushing back and trying to cancel her just because she voted for Trump or people were trying to say she voted for Trump. And I think that this is the president I'm talking about. So give me a little bit of grace. But right now, just to let y'all know, there is an explosion of a few different content creators on different platforms like TikTok where they are basically saying, hey, listen, get out of your depression. You're not a victim. You got to make sure that you take care of business. And it's largely directed at women that use men as a muse or always blame their problems or their troubles on society or men or their job or all of this other type of stuff. And it's largely based around cleaning up the house, right? So your kitchen shouldn't be dirty, especially if you're a stay-at-home mom. Make sure that you take care of your responsibilities, all of this different type of stuff, right? And so now I'm assuming that this is the husband because he said that you found me from Kylie's page. So I'm assuming that this is the husband of the woman that is basically giving these motivational speeches. And I feel you, right? So let me point out some things that I like, and then I'm going to highlight some things that I don't necessarily agree with. And I always like to give credit to the content creators. So that link will be down in the description, regardless of whether I agree with you or I disagree with you. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. I know he stated his credentials, and I think that that's absolutely awesome. And one of the things that I agree with for him is that you have to be clean, right? I came up in an environment where cleanliness was just a part of godliness. Like that's just the way that it was. Just because a woman isn't there doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to be a slob. Like in a general sense, you don't really get things dirty like that. Like your house just shouldn't be dirty in a general sense. Like if you live by yourself, you don't need a woman to come in and clean up. You should be able to, you know what I'm saying, take care of yourself. And that just goes without saying. I don't think that this is a lesson that needs to be directed at men. People just need to be neat and they need to be cleanly, and you don't have to wait for a woman in order to do so. Here's the flip side of that, though, is that men that work 60, 70, 80 hours a week should not be expected to come home and do the same things as a woman that's a stay at home mother. Absolutely. If that's what you're asking me to do. And it doesn't mean that I'm not going to assist with the kid. It doesn't mean that I can't pick up a broom or whatever because that's just naturally innate who I am. Just because you're not there don't mean that the house is going to be dirty and then nothing like that. I have multiple different houses and none of them are dirty and I don't need anybody to come and clean them because I usually clean up behind myself. As a matter of fact, it doesn't even really get dirty because I don't use it that much. But my point is if you are telling me, and one of the first red flags that I seen in him, and I know that he's, capitalizing off of the visibility, I'm gonna handle it. Hey, get your husband to talk to him, and all of the women is gonna be in the comments because it's a pander in a way, while at the same time talking some truth and some responsibility. And I respect it. Get your money, young man. I know that the new thing is white men that speak to the larger demographic and is holding men accountable because when women can't wait to equalize. And instead of just letting women have this one, we got to have a man that come over. And again, I agree with the fact that you're monetizing and get your money, king. But at the same time, there is a hierarchy. And the first red flag that I seen from some of the stuff that he said was it's a partnership. It's not a partnership. It never was a partnership. There are gender roles that we need to rock with, that we need to abide by, that keeps things even and stable. And it is not a partnership. This is not an equal 50-50 thing. This is not I'm going to do the same thing as you and you're going to do the same thing as me. I'm never going to be a stay-at-home husband. That's not in my DNA. It's not something that I'm going to do. And I very much put in all of the work and all of the time. I've been married for almost 21 years. And I will also tell you that my wife hasn't worked for the last 17 years in a traditional role at all, ever since we had our daughter. And my daughter, again, was young, and we had established that we are going to really operate in a traditional role. And so, I did whatever it is that I needed to do in order to provide for my family. And so sometimes I will work 2 full-time jobs while at the same time going to school. If you think that I'm going to work 2 full-time jobs and go to school full time and come home and worry about dishes or worry about the clothes being washed or anything like that. And that doesn't mean that I can't throw a load in the washing machine and then throw it in the dryer and then I'm back out the door. But if you think that that's what my priority is, that the level of work that is being put into this whole thing with me versus her, and my goal is to enable her to be the best mother that she can be, but my expectation is also for you to fill in the gaps. This is not a partnership. This is a benevolent dictatorship, right? You are going to be the beneficiary of my greatness. And I want you to. You are the one that's going to do all of the shopping. You're going to have the best cars. You're going to have all of these different things. And this is for the women that get it out the mud with you. This is not a woman that you just bring into your sphere when you already a made man. And see, this is why I think that context is relevant. You can still hold on to your masculinity while at the same time not necessarily being the feminine one in the role. You don't have to do all of the same things. The goal is to maximize your productivity with your time. And a woman is a helpmeet, not a partner. God bless you. Again, God bless everybody that you know what I'm saying, is going over there to get their money from the motivational speaking and all of that. But I'm just going to set the record straight, and I want to be very, very clear. A woman is a helpmeet, not a partner. It is a much, much different thing. Much, much different thing. I don't want to dig too deep into this because it can get deep. It can get deep. And again, I respect it. I think that you got to do what works best for you. I don't think that every relationship is the same. I don't operate in a partnership. I was raised in a church. It's a little bit different. I'm very much proficient, and I need her to fill in the gaps and the roles that she play is very much conducive for what it is that we do in our household. And it works. And I think that it's the blueprint for what a successful marriage is supposed to be. And I think that he says some good things, but I think that there's some gaps that need to be filled in. And you're not going to ever get me to operate like a woman and think that that is what being manly is. And if a woman is treating you like a child, then she never respected you in the first place. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Again, I'm going to link back to the video so y'all can give y'all own impression of it. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you later. Peace.